Welcome to episode 38, where I've broken a load of promises, but I have a good excuse. I was going to say I promised, but I probably shouldn't promise anything anymore. Last week, I promised you I was going to have all these things done for today, and I haven't got any of them done because I've not been very well. So that's my excuse. Sorry. I've had some kind of a sinusy thing. I don't know. But it was all in my sinuses and my glands have all been swollen, still are a little bit, and I just haven't felt very well at all, because when my body's fighting off an infection, the things that it fights off the infection with give my kidneys a bit of a hard time. So generally I've not been feeling very well, which was a shame because it was Ewan's birthday on Saturday and he had to go to work, but we had a Chinese in the evening. We're still waiting for his presents to arrive, but they'll get here, I'm sure. And he was 20. It's not like he's a little boy. He had some things to open and he's perfectly happy to wait. He knows what he's getting, and what he's getting are things that he really wanted, so he's quite happy to wait. We've had a bit of medical drama with Dave, but all seems to be well there, so that's okay. And of course Meatloaf died, which was a bit of a blow, I'm not going to lie. He was the first rock musician, I suppose, that I discovered, and then that led me down a whole road. My mum would blame him for the fact that I was into motorbikes, but in actual fact the motorbike obsession came long before the rock music, and I still love all types of music. Sorry, this is a bit of a ramble. I found Meatloaf because I liked Barry Manilow, and he did a song and they said on the radio, this is a cover of a song by Meatloaf, and I thought, oh, I must listen to that, and the rest is history, as they say. Yeah, so that was a bit sad, but in actual fact, my first boyfriend texted me from Australia to make sure I was okay. He lives in Australia now and has done for about 30 years. But he took me to my very first Meatloaf concert. It was at the Hammersmith Odeon, and we were right in the very front. And he used to have those, I call them hankies, I'm sure there's another name for them, that he used to mop himself with. And every so often he would throw one into the crowd, and my boyfriend wanted to get one for me, but I was too embarrassed. So yeah, so enough rambling on about nonsense. I ought to get on with my confessions of what I've not done, didn't I? I should have done this before I started recording. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I prickled my finger on something. The other thing is that my voice keeps coming and going, so I'm hoping. I've disappeared off the screen again. I'm getting a sock blocker. Back in a sec. Yeah, I'm hoping it'll hold up long enough to do the podcast, but if it doesn't, well, it will. It'll be fine. Right, I meant to wrestle this on here before I came on. So I boasted about the fact that I was doing a pair of socks for Denise's year of the sock, and that January was grey, and that as a result I was doing the Dunbroch sock pattern by Kay Jones, and I was going to have them both finished. I haven't even got one finished. Still needs a heel. I'll tell you all this again when they're both finished, but I altered the cuff slightly. It should have a longer cuff that folds over, but I didn't want that. And also I'm a little short of this colour yarn. And it should have a heel flap and gusset, but I'm going to put in an afterthought heel, as you've probably guessed. Over Christmas I wore a lot of socks that I made last Christmas when I just discovered making socks, and a lot of them had afterthought heels in, and they fit so beautifully that I thought I'm going to go back to doing afterthought heels for a bit. And I find it quicker. I think it's probably psychological, because you don't pause in the middle of knitting the sock to do the heel. I don't know if you can hear that helicopter. I can't tell if it's the air ambulance again. It's been around a lot lately. I've had a lot of nasty crashes locally. But there was, it's not a Chinook, because they sound different. There was a lot of Chinook activity last week as well. So that's the other side of the sock, sorry. Apparently you like my tangents, it's just as well. That's the other side, sort of the inside. And then obviously when you do the other sock, they're reversed. So you've got a right sock and a left sock. So sock wise, I've let you down. I've also let you down with my Advent shawl. There was a day when I didn't actually do any knitting at all. Oh gosh, now Poppy wants to come and see. It's gone, Pops. Come on then. Sorry. She wants to see out the window. I haven't got the energy for this today, really. Have I, Pops? You going to say hello? Poppy? Hello. She probably wants me to fuss her to sleep. Poppy has this weird quirk that when she wants to go to sleep, she needs to be fussed, and she walks round and round and round, purring like a steam engine. I don't know if you can hear her. And until she's tired enough to go to sleep. This isn't what I'm here to do just now, is it? Can you stop rattling the blind? I'm trying to record a podcast here. She's rattling the blind because she's spinning round and round and round. Just shush for a minute, please. Shush. Thank you. Right. The Advent shawl is almost finished. I'm on the last day's worth of knitting, but there's quite a lot of it, and then there's the I call bind off. But let me show you, if I can untangle it, what I have so far. She stopped purring now because I've stopped fussing her. Let's get it the right way up. Honestly, this is hard work today. It's hard work for me. It's probably hard work for you to watch. I'm going to start at the wrong end, really, and try and get decent light on it. So this was actually the end where I finished section 1. So section 1 started with this blue end here. And then you knit all the way up to there. Then you change direction and start going this way. So that's the second section. And as I say, I'm now on to the last day because it was divided into 25 days. As you can tell, it is not the 25th today. Well, you probably can't tell actually because I don't know when you're watching this. It's the 26th, so I should have finished it yesterday. Got it blocked for you. All sorted and nice, but clearly I didn't do that. Is that better? Can't tell if that's better or worse. I'm just going to stop fiddling with it. I think I've made it worse, not better. Can't really tell. I only had 24 colours in my advent calendar, so I needed a 25th colour. And I fished about in my stash and I chose this one by West Yorkshire Spinners. It doesn't actually have a name on it, which is odd. It's kind of a peachy colour. It's a little bit more intense colour than it's coming out on the screen. That's more like it. I don't know if I've done the right thing or not. There's not a terribly high contrast between that and this sort of about 4 rows there. Between that and the one before. It's easier to see in real life, and it does pick up, there's sort of a peachy stitch within this section, but I don't know whether I should have gone for something a bit more of a contrast, maybe that golden brown. I don't know, but I'm not undoing it. I'm going to go with what I've chosen. I did choose it in electric light as well, which probably wasn't a very good idea, but hey, I didn't choose any of the other colours really, did I, as it was an advent calendar, so it doesn't really matter. Excuse me. So that's that. I'm just going to have a little drink because my throat's tickling now. This is probably going to be even shorter than last week's, because quite honestly, I'm going downhill fast here. And then there's this. And the first thing I want to show you about this is the bag that it's in. This lovely, lovely bag was a present, and it actually came on Ewan's birthday, which was rather nice. Well, for me, not so much for Ewan. But when, this sounds really self-serving now, when Peter was little, my friend always used to give me a present on his birthday, because she said, well, he's only got a birthday because of you, which I thought was really nice. And then getting a present for myself on Ewan's birthday reminded me of that. So I won't say who it's from, because she knows who she is, but it's very much appreciated. It is my favourite knitting bag now, and I straight away put this in it. I've got to be a bit careful. I've put this onto 2 needles so that I can spread it out enough to show you. This is my version of Stephen West's Honeycomb, Painting Honeycombs sweater. I'm not quite finished with the yoke yet. I finished with the honeycomb bit, but I've got a little bit, oh gosh, there's poppy hairs on everything. I've got a little bit more to do. Let's try and get it round the right way. Is that the right way? I think that's the front. There's short row shaping at the back, so I'm trying to hold it the right way around for you. Don't know that you can see terribly well. Oh gosh, this is hopeless, absolutely hopeless today. Let me try moving the camera. Is that any better? A little bit. So you can see I've used that variegated yarn rather than changing colour for every honeycomb, which is what you're supposed to do. I've just knitted with the variegated yarn. I really like it. even though, I'm going to sound like a complete lunatic now, even though the variegated yarn wasn't the colour I remembered it being, I thought it was all kind of autumnal golds and oranges. And there is a gold in there, but there's mainly pinks. Unless I have got a ball of the colour that I thought this was buried deeper in the particular box that I had this in, and I just didn't dig deep enough, in which case I'll be knitting another one. I know I've got another ball that's from the same range that's pinks. I don't know whether I just misremembered this. I probably did. But quite happy with it. It looks far more complicated than it actually is. I've got a little bit further to go before I divide for the sleeves. And I'm debating whether I'm actually going to put long sleeves on it or whether I'm going to put short or 3/4 length. I might go with 3/4 length, I don't know. Not least of all because I've used a whole 100-gram ball already and I've only got 4 left. So it might have shorter sleeves by necessity because I've run out of yarn. Though I have got 2 more sweater quantities of grey yarn. They're not the same grey yarn, because that would just be, well, I was going to say that would just be silly, wouldn't it? But I mean, who would buy 3 sweater quantities of the same colour yarn? At least deliberately. Not many of us, I don't think. But anyway, it looks good. I'm happy with it. Hopefully you'll be able to see it a bit better when it's finished, because obviously once it's blocked it'll all open out a bit more. But I like it, and I'm the one that's got to wear it, so that's what matters, isn't it? I've got a plan to cast on, and I thought I might have done it before I recorded this morning, but I haven't done. I think I'm going to cast on a love note, but I've been dithering a huge amount about what yarn to use for it. I want it to wear over, I've got some dresses that I wear in the summer or sort of in the spring with leggings or thick black tights. And the colour that would go with all of them is of course black, because most of them are black. One is red but has got black on it, so black would do all of them. So would white. I have got black wool and I have got white wool. What I haven't got, I'm going to have to do it in DK, because the only mohairy stuff I've got is kind of a caramel colour, pink or burgundy, none of which are anywhere close to being along the lines that I'm thinking. So I want to do it in black, but I'm thinking, will you finish it if it's in black? Because it's going to be hard to see to knit. Are you better to go with the white? And if I am going to go with the white, I've got, and I'm looking, the reason I'm looking up there and not at you is that I'm looking at some white linen drape, Starcraft linen drape that I've got that might be rather nice. But I'm a bit wary about the linen drape. I knit a little sleeveless top for myself with it a couple of years ago. I'd never used anything like it before, and I knit this top. It was my own design, and I think it's only been worn a couple of times and washed once or twice, and it's now about that wide, but about, 6 feet long, which makes me a bit reluctant to knit anything else with it in case it does the same thing, especially as the I keep wanting to say the Whitmore, but the Love Note is knit in the round, so there's no seams to stabilise it. Though to be fair, the one I knit has got seams and it's not made a bit of difference. I don't know. Give me some advice. If you've knit anything with Starcraft linen drape, give me some advice as to what I should do about that. Because I might just cast the black one on anyway. See, I've got, this is awful. I've got the linen drape in white, in sort of a corn yellowy gold colour, purple and a dark grey. And it would be nice in any of those colours, but I don't want to knit it and then find that it stretches down and is no good anymore. Don't know. That's my job for you this week, people. If you've knit anything with Stylecraft linen drape, give me some advice. Or is your advice, knit nothing else with it other than a blanket, because it just won't hold its shape and you're going to end up being disappointed. Right then, look at that, 21 minutes. I'm so sorry. I will try and do better for next week. I will be back next week, hopefully with a bit more to show you. I should certainly have this finished and blocked. I should have this finished today, actually. Yeah. Don't know about the socks. I've kind of lost my sock mojo a bit, which is very sad, because socks were my favourite thing to knit. I don't know why. I think what I need to do, the Dear Designs prompt for next month, for February, is Tickle Pink, I think. I think what I need to do is just knit a self-striping sock. I think that will get me back. A nice vanilla self-striping sock that you can just knit away on, and really it does all the work itself. That might help. Anyway, that's me. Grumpy, not feeling the best. Sad that I haven't had more to show you, and yeah, big old promise breaker. So I'm going to go now and try and work on having some more to show you next week. Sorry it's another short one, but thank you for watching anyway, and until I see you next week, happy knitting. Bye.